Hello everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another mystery envelope collaboration with the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team. This month, Cami sent out the mystery envelope and her rules are this month's envelope has 6x6 DSP and smaller, so the challenge is to create a scrapbook layout using small papers. You can use these as background papers, embellishments, or whatever else you may think of. So she sent us a variety of papers from the collection called Bloominpressions. This was one of the items that you could choose for free during Saleabration. So if you got this collection, stay tuned. I'm going to create a 2-page layout with this. Okay, she also sent us some antique pearls and a variety of ribbon. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The pictures that I'm going to scrapbook, they're everyday life, and I snapped some pictures while my husband and I were hanging out in our backyard. We lit up the fire pit and the dog came out with us. The little dog was inside, so it's just the big dog with us. And we were sitting in our little cabana that we have out back and just having a little drink and just enjoying each other's company. So I snapped a few pictures there, just relaxing back there. It's good to scrapbook some everyday events as well as big ones like vacations. So I'm thinking that I'm going to set this up kind of like a grid. I've printed out my papers at 3x4 and 3x3. So we'll just kind of cluster them in a grid. And then I'm thinking I'm going to have something interesting going down the left and right margins. So I have this collection. It's called Linked Together, and it's got some great dies in it. So it has this diamond, and I'm thinking I want to do several of those going down the edges in the variety of paper patterns. So let's go ahead and get our pictures out of the way. And I'm going to bring in some cardstock here. I'm going to use Sapphire. This is close to my heart, but you could go with Night of Navy. I think it looks good with the pillows that we had back there and my husband's t-shirt. So yeah, that's going to be my base. And now I'm going to pick some patterns to use. So I like this one. And then to balance that out, I'm going to go with that one. I may or may not use the purple one. We'll see. I might need it. So, and then I like this one too with the white background. All right, so off camera, I've got a whole bunch of diamonds cut out and I've kind of laid things out the way I want them. And then I want something to go underneath my pictures to connect the two pages together. So Cami, sorry, I had to cheat a little bit. I didn't have a 12x12 in Azure Afternoon. So I'm going to use this page that's from Bloominpressions. I went into my stash and pulled this. And I'm going to cut two pieces at 7x8. And they will be the base for my photo clusters for my grid. Okay, so we'll slide those under. And I like that. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and set up our pictures. And I want to leave a spot up on that top left area for my title. Okay, so that's generally the layout. I'm kind of setting things up and looking at everything. Yeah, so I think I want to mat my pictures. So I printed them with the white border, but I want an additional border. So I'm going to bring in another piece of sapphire, and I'm just going to create a tiny border for the mats. It's like a 1/16 of an inch. And then the ribbon that Cami sent, they're not working for me. So I went to my stash, and I think this is Azure Afternoon. It has a silver border around it, and I think that's going to work. So let's go ahead and cut a length of 7 inches. Just going to see and trim that up and just lay it out and see what it looks like. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I have glued all these diamonds down, and what I'm going to do is flip everything over and put it in my trimmer and trim off the excess that's hanging over the edges. And that bit that I trim off, I'm going to use to fill in the open spaces that are left along that border. So we'll go ahead and just trim all the way around, not trimming the Sapphire cardstock, just trimming the patterned papers off the edge. You could use your scissors too, but I like the straight edge that the trimmer gives. And then I'll fill in all those open gaps. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and attach my ribbon. So you could easily use glue dots, but this ribbon is slightly sheer. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. And this adhesive, it's super sticky. And I'm just going to give it a go and try sticking down my ribbon with it. I think it'll work. I'm persistent. So yeah, we'll go ahead and add some tape runner to the back there, and we'll go ahead and get that secured. So I started on the right side, but then I realized if I start on the left of that block, whatever is left over, I can trim it up with my scissors. So we'll go ahead and get all 4 pieces down. And now we can work on what's going to go in that area for my title. So this is the stamp set called Everyday You and Me, and I like this title. So I'm going to stamp that out in Azure Afternoon on White Daisy. So I have it all in my Misty so I can stamp it a couple times and get it nice and deep and dark. So that title says, Love Every Moment. Okay. So this die set, it is called Nested Essentials, and I think that's going to fit. So we'll go ahead and trim that up, send it through my die cutter. So Nested Moments is going to be available in the next catalog. So if you're interested, you'll still be able to get it. And then with Linked Together, there's this cool trellis image. So I want to use that. So I pulled another pattern from Bloom Impressions, and I trimmed that up, and then I ran the trellis die through using Sapphire cardstock. So we'll go ahead and glue the trellis image down to this piece of Bloom Impressions. We'll get that down just using my precision glue press. Little dots of glue. And then a trick, because this is too tall for that space that I want to place it in. So I'm just going to chop it in half and layer it up so it's shorter. So we'll go ahead and check before we glue it together. I'm not going to make a 3x3 square. Because it's not 3 inches across. So it's still going to be a rectangle, but not as tall, so that it will fit that spot. So we'll go ahead and add some tape runner and then match it up again and glue that together. So the seam is going to be covered by my title. So it'll fit in that space. Okay, so I decided my title was starting to disappear, so I got out some more Azure Afternoon, and I'm going to ink all the way around the edges here, just so that it kind of is framed and pops a little bit better. And then I'll be adding some foam tape to the back of that. Okay, so this collection, this is the link together, and I want to use these two dies to create some greenery. And I'm just going to use some of the scraps left over after I cut my diamonds. And then from Everyday You and Me, I want to cut out a couple of roses. So these are the dies. And now I've got my stamps loaded into my Misty, and I'm going to use Flirty, Flamingo, and Melon Mambo. These are a couple of the pinks that are in the Bloominpressions collection. So we'll go ahead and stamp those out. Get that cleaned up, flip it around, and we'll stamp out with Flirty Flamingo. And then off camera, I'll use the coordinating dies and cut those out as well. Okay. All right, so now we have a whole bunch of greenery and the roses that I just stamped. Okay, so now we can create a couple of embellishment clusters. And I'm just going to lay everything out here just to get a feel for what it looks like. Of course, I'll glue everything down off camera, but we'll just kind of lay some greenery around and a couple flowers. So I'll make a list of all these supplies with links in the description below. And I'll also put the playlist for the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team mystery envelopes in the description below. So you can click on that and check out what everyone else has done with these supplies that Cami sent us. Okay, so ultimately, when I started gluing things together, I decided to just keep everything on the right side of my title together rather than spread out like that. So I pulled another die from Nested Essentials. It's the next size down, and I die cut this using some of the green paper or Shy Shamrock from Bloominpressions, and then I did some journaling off camera. And we'll create a small cluster there. And then to match the title, I'm going to go ahead and ink around the edges of this one as well with Azure Afternoon. So pretty simple, but yeah, I think it's important to scrapbook these everyday moments. If you thought it was important enough to take a picture, it's important enough to scrapbook, right? Okay, so these are the antique pearls, and we'll go ahead and scatter a bunch of these around. I think they pop nicely against that sapphire cardstock. So we'll do 3 on each side. So I will put close-up shots of this layout over on my Facebook page. I'll put a link in the description below, and the URL is at the bottom of your screen here. Hop on over there and check out close-up shots. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'd sure appreciate it, and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.